Hello, beautiful children. It is amazing to see you in my mind's eye. And I'm going to whiz through the two parshiot. We've got a double this week. We've got Mattot and Masei. Are you ready? I've got my t-shirt on. Rolling back the time. And one more. Rolling back the time. And one more. Rolling back the time and thinking and thinking and thinking. Parshot, Mattot and Masei, double, which is da 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 da. I'm not being mean and nasty. We sing chazak, chazak, v'nit, chazek when we get to the end of the fourth book of the Torah called Bamidbar. Should we do rolling back the time again? Rolling back the time and one more. Rolling back the time and one more. Rolling back the time and thinking and thinking and thinking because we have a double parsha. Don't make foolish promises. I promise I'm going to have ice cream every day for the rest of the year. No, don't make a silly promise like that. The Talmidei Chachamim are very clever, wise people, could say, did you mean to make that promise when you made it? No, I didn't really. Oh, okay. In that case, we can stop that silly promise of yours. Oh, very helpful. Thank you very much. So, what can we do nowadays, though? Well, when we mean to do something, when we intend to do something, we can say B'li Neder without a promise. I hope to see you at the park tomorrow, B'li Neder. I hope to bake a chocolate cake for you tomorrow, B'li Neder. That's the way to do it. Okay, what happens in Parshat Matot? Well, Bnei Yisrael win their battle against the Midyanim. There were 1,000 tzaddikim, 1,000 soldiers chosen from lots. And Pinchas leads them into the battle. And the Kohanim blow. What two instruments do you think they blow? What instruments do you play? Do you play any instruments, or do you like listening to any instruments? In the 3 weeks at the moment, we're not allowed to listen to music for fun. But at the time of war, when we are learning about this parsha, then the Kohanim blow the 2 silver trumpets. Okay, and that's how Pinchas leads them into battle. So we learn that there are 2 silver trumpets. And we learn as well that when the Midyanim are completely lose the battle against Bnei Israel are able to get lots of loot from the battles. What do they get? Well, they can get some pots and pans, and maybe other silver and gold items, maybe a very nice food tray. Now, that was the olden days, which we don't really understand, but they were given permission to kosher the items, to make them kosher. But what materials did they have to be in order to kosher them? They could be silver, they could be gold, they could be tin, they could be old, they could be metal. There we go. And if they were used for cold non-kosher food, they would be cleaned thoroughly and then they could be used. If they were used for hot, with hot water, then they would be cleaned thoroughly and immersed in hot water and they would be okay. And if they were put on the fire, like a special roasting tray through the fire, then again, they would be cleaned thoroughly and roasted through the fire, and that's how they would become clean. What about this lovely China cow? Sorry, China cow, you can't be koshered. What about this lovely China egg cup? Sorry, China egg cup, you can't be koshered. What items have to be koshered? So we've mentioned the metal. What about the crystal? Yes. Nowadays, glass and metal need to be koshered, and we take them to a special place called a mikveh, where they are immersed into pure water, pure rainwater. And we make the bracha, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu al tevilas keli, for immersing one item. And if we have more than one item of glass and or metal, we say al tevilat kelim. What else do we learn at Parshat Mattot? Well, we learn that Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zevulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Yosef and Binyamin, these are the 12 Shevatim. We learn that Reuven and Gad and half of Manasseh are going to stay on the eastern side of the Jordan River, where they're going to have 3 special refuge cities. We're going to learn about it in the next Parsha. Parshat Masei, aka also known as Midbar Memory Lane. This is where Moshe goes through all the different places. He writes down all the different places that the Bnei Israel have encamped during the 40 years in the Midbar, in the wilderness. Now, from when they left Egypt to when there was the terrible story of the spies, when there were 10 bad spies and 2 good spies, do you remember that? They encamped in 14 places. And the sin of the spies occurred in the 2nd year after leaving Egypt. So for 38 years, they wandered about and camped in about 20 places, which is an average, more or less 2 years per place. And Aharon had died in the 40th year. And the Bnei Israel actually went back 8 places. Goodness, what a muddle. And during their time in the wilderness, they had the mun, they had the slovebirds, they had running water from Miriam's well, and they still complained. And Hashem gives Moshe the exact boundaries for Eretz Yisrael. And we learn that there are 3 cities on the east of the Jordan River, and 3 cities in Eretz Yisrael, and an extra 42 cities in Eretz Yisrael. All the 48 cities belong to Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zevulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Yosef and Binyamin. These are the 12 Shevatim. All the 48 cities are belonging to the Levites, but the Leviim are not meant to be farmers, and they're not meant to be businessmen, and they're not meant to be fishermen. What are they meant to do? Somebody's supposed to tell me. The Leviim are meant to teach Torah to Bnei Israel, to help the Bnei Israel with their Torah learning, and they're meant to work in Hashem's special house called the Bet HaMikdash. That's their job. So they're not meant to be planting things. But they are allowed to receive some money in rent by somebody who has committed a crime and needs a place to stay. Somebody who ends up killing someone by accident is allowed to remain in those cities until the Kohen Gadol dies. Okay, what else do we know that's going to happen next week? Well, next Shabbat is going to be Rosh Chodesh Av. And so we know that starts the 9 days where we are not permitted to eat meat except on Shabbat until Tisha B'Av is over and done with. So we don't eat meat during the 9 days except for Shabbat, from the 1st of Av to the 9th of Av. And here are all different examples of meat. Maybe you can make your own example of meat. I do like the cow, very funny. And some steak, all not allowed from the 1st of Av until the 9th of Av. Different people have different customs, but I think you get the general meaning of it. Okay, listen to your mummies and daddies and do what they say. Listen to your mummies and daddies. Please don't forget to pray. Listen to your mummies and daddies. The rabbis lead the way. Then they will be happy. Don't worry about a thing. Be good, be well, and I will see you when I can see you.